The Bulldogs.
A lot of dogs.
It'd be funny if like they had a postseason tournament where they're like, since we have so many Bulldog names, like we need to narrow it down to one. So whoever wins gets to keep their name. You'd see the best basketball of your life. There's going to be some crazy shit. People are going to bet Eastern Washington, they lose by 10. And people are going to be like, oh my God, this team sucks. Or like Montana State blows a game and people are like, what the, the Big Sky's trash.
I feel like I just can't take you seriously. And at the same program. Yeah, it's like I simultaneously can't take you seriously and I'm extremely interested in everything that you have to say.
That's good. That's what we need out of this stream. Okay. Is that like inertia or something? There's like a
moving water requires colder energy to freeze. I can go call my mom. My mom literally lives on a river in Wisconsin.
What do we call that? Boots on
ground. Yeah. Okay, so you've got your mom's house on the under, and you've got life savings on UNLV. What else? What else can we wager? Future Kids College Fund. Oh, but yeah. Well, so we're gonna double up, right? So we're gonna parlay the house and the life savings, and then we're gonna roll that through on something.
Told you we always been ready. I don't need people that's petty, that weigh on me heavy while I'm being steady. I need a record with Felly. We get it bouncing like Betty's. I feel like I'm Nelly. Don't bring the beef like a deli. It's sleep on a levy. No sleeping on me like I'm Freddy. Chris Breeze, how I do. Hit him with the moves. Left hand step back, ballin' like I'm Coos. All faith, God's plan, you just gotta choose. God slaps, nothing left to prove. Y'all gotta leave me alone. Lately I've been in my zone. Told them no cap like a fitted, but lately the flows have been straight off the dome. I feel like I'm MVP. My name Patty Mahomes. If it ain't about money, don't hit on my phone, cause lately I've been in my zone.
Hello, welcome to the Cowboy Show, hosted by Ben Carey and Nick Gronerad, combining expert human opinions with cutting-edge simulation models to help you arrive at the best picks each week. Inside Edge Community. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to today's stream. Nick, not with us today, but props to Nick, man. He's been streaming every day of the whole MLB season, man.
Respect to him.
Yeah, but we got a pretty good pinch hitter, I would say. Javon, man, how are we doing?
Doing great. I feel good today. I'm coming off of my biggest bet of the MLB season so far, cashing last night, so that felt good.
Let's talk about that. What was that?
It was the under in the Brewers-Astros game. So that felt pretty good. It's 2-0 going into the bottom of the eighth. Got a little sweaty because the Brewers dropped a 4-piece on Montero, which I wasn't expecting. But
yeah,
a lot of wiggle room with the 9.5, so that felt great.
Yeah, it's always nice on an under when you have cushion like that because, we put a lot of pressure on these bullpens. Like as bettors, we're just like, don't blow it, right?
Yeah.
And it's nice to have, at that point you had a 6-run buffer?
From going into the bottom of the eighth when it was 2-0, I had
7. So 7 runs. Yeah.
7. Yeah.
That's a good spot to be in.
Yeah, I was expecting a little less cushion because I liked it was JP France and Colin Rea. Colin Rea shoved. I wasn't expecting him to be that good, but it's definitely expecting the bullpen staff to hold it down a little tighter. But glad we got the cushion. That was nice.
So are you officially graduated?
I am.
Congrats, man.
Thank you.
How does it feel?
I'm still here, and I'll be going through a little moving process very shortly. So it doesn't feel like I'm 100% kind of detached from everything. But I'll tell you what, there's not anything harder I've had to do than doing BTL and streaming and doing everything with Book It as I'm going to class. 3 times a day. That was incredibly tough. So it makes my mornings so much easier.
Yeah, I always say people who are working during school or if they're playing a sport during school, you're going to be set up for success because now it's just in a way, it's that's just taken off your plate. And now you can even focus on this more.
What made it suck so much, not that I obviously don't love, streaming with everybody here and getting involved in the community, but so obviously we have BTL, it's kind of in the middle of the day. So for 2 straight semesters, I was basically just running 8 a.m. classes, coming straight to stream, going straight back out to classes. There's really no break. And then obviously I have to be prepared, looking to the slate, especially Prize Picks too, which doesn't put their board up until really the morning.
Right.
So it's just a big time crunch. So I always felt super underprepared, even if some people couldn't see it.
I mean, the results, I wouldn't be able to tell. I mean, yeah. So, in a weird way, like sometimes like with the whole like getting in the lab thing, and you can disagree with this, but I'm curious your thoughts before we hop on into the slate. For me, at least, this is how I feel. I feel like there's like it's kind of like a middle where there's the happy medium of like getting enough research, but then once you get to a certain point, I feel like you can just start to overanalyze things, and then you start to second guess, like, I like this spot for this guy, but then you're like, well, and maybe there's this or that, and you almost start to overthink it. Do you kind of feel the same, or do you feel like with more time, with all these different props on all these different teams, like what is like the happy middle of like finding enough time versus like overthinking and like spending too much time on something? If that makes sense.
Yeah, so it's a little different, I guess, for sides and totals versus props. Sides and totals, I think you have to be a little more convicted going in. Like I'll look at something and you could probably find anything for a side or a total that is worked for you on both sides as far as data. So you got to kind of go in there with an idea of what you want after you see something. I kind of use like the tiebreaker as like situational type gambling. So like I could find stuff for the Brewers Astros under yesterday, or Brewers Astros total that worked for the under and the over. But the situational tiebreaker was the fact that we had a premier pitching matchup with Christian Javier and Corbin Burns yesterday, soar over, or the day before, soar over. So now I like to go back to an under with a different matchup. So like in that situation, you got to be a little more convicted with props. It helps having a lot of time, because realistically, labbing baseball props is a lot of trial and error. It's like you're going to go through a bunch of different matchups. Even if you have some like on your mind going into it, you got to find a lot of data. You can find a lot of different data points that support him having a good day, and having that time helps incredibly.
Yes. I totally agree. With props, man, I mean, there's so much, and even off of like Prize Picks, I know you're primarily on there, but like now some of these other books, man, they have so many different things that they're offering. I think later in the year, you'll start to see some head-to-head props too, which is cool. Like who's going to have more bases, hits, things like that, which we'll see like later in the year when there's more data. But yeah, props are super fun. And I mean, it's obvious it's growing in popularity. Yeah.
Fun.
So I thought we should do something a little different today, and I told Javon about this, and he's prepared. So what we're going to do is, as we go through the slate today, Javon and I are going to do a little fun head-to-head, where we're going to pick one infielder, one outfielder, a pitcher, and then we're going to have like a flex spot, which can be an infielder, outfielder, or a DH position. And the highest score between the two of us is going to win. We're going to use Prize Picks fantasy score for scoring purposes for this for this head-to-head. And at the end, we will have some channel point prediction opportunities for you guys to vote on who will have the higher score. So I'm super pumped about that. I've been labbing a little bit. I'm kind of curious to see if we're going to have any of the same plays, because I do have a few like guys where I'm like, if he does have this guy, I can throw him in. And hopefully no rainouts, because there could be one rainout in Colorado, but we'll talk about that.
Okay.
But yeah, as we run through the games, if we have a play, we'll bring it up, and just let me know, Javon, if you have a player in the matchup. So Javon, what's your Twitter? It is at Javon_Deeb. It's right there, right? It's Twitter.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah. Right
Cool.
on the banner.
Awesome. All right, let's hop on into the first game, Javon. Rangers and Pirates. So I'm showing a line minus, or let's see here, plus 106 ish. Actually, I'm going to pull up unabated here. So we can have the actual props. Why don't you just start talking about this game? I know I've heard you talk about Martin Perez in the past. To me, he's such an interesting player. or pitcher. I like him. I've bet against him so many times in the past, and it's burnt me. But at this point, I have to kind of respect the guy. And the Rangers' rotation as a whole has been pretty solid. So props to them. But what are you eyeing in this game?
Definitely eyeing the Pirates here. And it's, I don't want to say like a reoccurring issue for Martin Perez, but like he's stolen a lot of, like, I guess, sharp coin in the past year and a half or so. So he's in these spots a lot, but it's not really based on him that I'm really like capping the game a little bit. I really like Johan Oviedo. I've been impressed by him. I would say if you look at just the numbers and the data, his stuff has been far more impressive this year than Martin Perez's. Actually, if you look at a lot of his expected numbers, he's been getting very unlucky. So I think that he is set up for success here, especially he made some adjustments in his last couple starts here where he's throwing the slider a lot more, which is huge against this Rangers lineup who really struggle against sweeping off speed, especially guys like Adolis, who's been red hot this season. That's how you neutralize him. You have a lot of good breaking stuff. A lot of that lineup too, even the lefties like Nate Lowe, when he has a bad day, it's because you have a guy with real strong off speed, a really good secondary pitch, and velocity on that fastball. So I think he pitches well today. I think he finally starts to get a little lucky, limiting some harder contact. So I do like that. And the Pirates have sneakily been, just around league average against left-handed pitching, which I know they were a massive fade against lefties last year. It's not the story as of late. So I think they get it today.
Do you have any props you like or anything for our head-to-head here?
Nothing in that game.
Okay.
For me.
Curious your thoughts on Corey Seager in this matchup.
Yeah, I mean, I really can't tell you any reasons not to take Corey Seager in this matchup. Really, any matchup. Seems early in the season, or I guess early in his season, that he's been matchup proof as of late. He's just hitting everything. Yeah,
well, on that point, that's going to be one of my four here. I'm throwing him in for one of my infielders here. You kind of hit it, man. I mean, righties, lefties, he's seen the ball well. I wanted to wait a little bit after injury to see like how he was hitting, but I mean, I know Lauren was at one of his minor league games, man. Yeah. He hasn't lost a step. I mean, the last 5 games, 3 hits. I know he had just maybe 1 hit last game, but for him, like 1 hit and a run and an RBI, that's like a bad game for him at this point in the season. Yeah. So seeing the ball really well. It's funny. I have Corey Seager in like an over hits season long. And I'm in this weird position where I'm like, do I just not want him to hit 80 games or can he somehow, I mean, he would have to probably hit like a hit and a half hit every game to surpass his number at this point. But yeah, I think he could do it. I mean, he's seen the ball well.
Certainly helps when the Rangers offense is good, they're dropping 10, 12 runs. It's like he's gonna have a bunch of games here where he gets 5 at bats.
Absolutely. Yeah. You think the Rangers are they legit?
I think their offense is it's good. I think they're overperforming a little bit, especially at the back end. Their expected numbers are some of the luckiest in the league. So I do like the Rangers, but yes, like Amanda's saying, Billy, bullpen terrible. And you talk about how fragile a lot of their starting pitchers are as well. DeGrom's already hurt. Nathan Eovaldi, obviously not rooting for these guys to get hurt, but Nathan Eovaldi is, you can guarantee him an IL stint pretty long every year. John Gray, kind of same deal. So I just don't trust their pitching over the long course swing the bat. That's for sure.
They definitely feel like a team that is going to make some moves at the deadline.
Yeah, I think that'll be the decider for them because they need a lot of arms in the back end. Somebody said, what position did I play? Where did I play? I played first and third base growing up a lot. Started
first and third.
I really played third, but then I'm bigger than everybody, or was bigger than everybody, so they stuck me at first for a little bit too.
Nice. So I know they didn't ask me this question, but I played baseball up to like 11 or 12 years old, and I was a really good football player. I was a really good basketball player, but like baseball compared to some of the other sports, I was just like average at. So like I got to a point where I'm like, I think I was like in middle school where I was like, why am I going to keep playing baseball when I'm not as good as it? And I just quit. And then I focused on football and basketball, but I kind of regret it because I think it would have been fun to play baseball in high school and stuff. But yeah,
baseball is fun.
yeah. Also, Bradish wasn't like terrible, but
he pitched all right.
Yeah,
the command wasn't really there from the jump, but he still pitched well until that final inning. So not a terrible outing for him. Could have been better.
Yeah. But hey, I think for him, like if that's a bad outing for him, he's come a long way. Like we've been on the Bradish train since day one. So yeah,
absolutely.
he's definitely in like the Orioles team we'll talk more about. But let's get moving here because I know you have BTL coming up in about 45 minutes. Let's talk about the Diamondbacks and Phillies. I'm showing basically this is like pretty even line, minus 110. It looks like, and then a total of 8.5. Phillies, I know, were a heavy favorite yesterday, didn't come through. Diamondbacks just a pesky team, man. It's always hard to go against the Diamondbacks because they're going to have guys on base. They're going to make plays with the speed. Do you have anything in this game?
Definitely lean the D-backs a little bit. The thing with, I guess, a lot of what I've been doing in MLB betting that's been very successful this year has been kind of zigzagging, like I talked about yesterday. Super high total with two great pitchers, or super low total with two great pitchers that goes over. What do I do the next day after the public was all over it? I go with the under, inferior pitching matchup. Zach Gallen, who is still like a public pitcher that everybody loves, so it's not completely the same, but he has been terrible on the road, and he's coming off of a start that I think every single person who was betting the MLB, we saw it in Surgical Stream quite a bit too, took him at like minus 180 against the Pirates on the road, and he got shelled, which I was on the Pirates in that game too, which felt great because I was getting chirped for that one pretty heavy. But I think going back here against the Phillies, I think he has some success today. Maybe not a lights out outing necessarily what I'm expecting, but I think he does better, and a lot of that D-backs lineup starts to regress or positively regress as far as their numbers against lefties. I'm interested to see the lineup they put out. I didn't look at that yet, but yeah, I do like Zach Allen a little bit.
I mean, it's always hard to even, at least for me, because I'm biased, I like Gallen a lot, to bet against him. How do you feel about Ranger Suarez in this spot here at home?
Yeah, I don't hate it. I mean, the D-backs, because a lot of their premier bats not named, Christian Walker, and yeah, it's a pretty decent point there
for sure. Yeah,
other than Christian Walker, a lot of their bats have not been great against lefties. So I mean, it's a theoretical point. Yes, they've gotten a little unlucky too. If you look at their expected numbers, but yeah, it's not a bad matchup for Ranger Suarez. He's got to see which D-backs team shows up. So honestly, their lineup against lefties it's either on or it's the worst lineup you've ever seen with your eyes.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious too what the lineup ends up being. Actually, we could pull it up because I feel like it might be out, right?
Out. I just haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, let's take a look here and then we'll hop on into the next game because that is important, especially when you have a lefty on the mound and just want to see who's out there. Let me pull it up here.
Yeah, I see that.
You have it up?
Yeah, I kind of like that lineup. Ketel Marte leading off. They got Emmanuel Rivera in the 3 spot. Yeah, they're going a lot of righties early on.
Yeah. So it looks like Marte, switch hitter. He'll be batting right. Carroll, Rivera, Christian Walker in the 4 hole. Longoria, 5 hole. Pavin Smith. Yeah. I think it's pretty solid.
Yeah. No Gurriel. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's kind of tough, but I don't mind Longo in there. He's been really good against lefties. Another guy that's gotten super unlucky, but his splits are pretty significant.
Tristan Turner, Trey Turner. I was thinking Tristan Thomas. Trey Turner. Obviously having one of his worst starts to a season in a while. What's going on with him? And would you buy stock in him at this point?
Yeah, I would buy stock in him. It's just. I don't know if now's the point that I would get in. I've been trying to do that a little bit in some good matchups. I did it, I think, 2 days ago, which he did kind of come through a little bit. But his at-bats are just super strange. You talk about, like, Trey Turner. He used to commanded bats. That was why he was so fantastic, especially with the Dodgers. And now his chase rate is up a ton. He swings at pitches that are – I can't even believe my eyes when I look and I see Trey Turner swinging at some of these pitches. A lot of them are high in the zone, which is crazy. And so I think he is going to get it back in some capacity. It's just a question of when. So I would definitely be on the watch to buy stock. Just it's tough to do it right now. It's like the Arenado thing.
Yeah.
Just might have.
Well, the thing with him, like in that Rockies series, like a few weeks back, man. Yeah, I'm with you. He was like chasing pitches. It almost seems like he's trying to do a little too much at the plate. I think over time he'll be fine because he's shown it, and I think he just needs like the hitting coach to really focus in and say like, hey, we just need to get you on base, because if you get on base, good things are going to happen, especially now Harper back in the lineup. I think they'll be all right. But yeah, it is crazy because you look at some of his props and you're just like, you want to play an over every time, but then he's out there and he goes like 0 for 4 with a walk or whatever. So
it's a brutal watch sometimes.
Yeah. All right, let's hop on into the next game here. You know what? Actually, okay, I was torn on 2 pitchers. I'm gonna go Gallon. I'm gonna throw Gallon in there,
Okay.
because I have a feeling. I know what pitcher you're gonna use today, but
You have a feeling?
I do have a feeling. So I'll go Gallon today. I mean, I've been a ride or die with Zach Gallen for a while, so at this point, I'm like, he was kind of like my second guy, but something is telling me that he's going to have a good outing today. I think his strikeout number is only like, it might be only like 5.5 or something.
Really?
Maybe it's 6. I thought it was 6 on Prize Picks. Which is kind of weird. He's a guy like I've bet on his strikeout props a few times, and he's always like super close every time. It seems like he's always like floating around the number.
Yeah.
But it really just comes down to those 2 strike counts. I just want to pull up his prop number real quick.
Yeah, I see 6 on prospects.
6, and then at the books, it looks like 6.5, but juiced pretty heavily. Actually, not too bad. Interesting. It's only 6 on Prize Picks.
Yeah,
that's not a bad look, because I'm showing 6.5 at some spots, minus 105.
Okay. Yeah.
I bet they could bump that.
Yeah, it's probably coming soon.
They might bump that. Okay. So no, I can't, little Juice Mac. We're on StreamYards today. So we don't have the ticker today, but all good. Next game. We have the Astros and the Brewers. Of course, Javon was on that under last night. Hauser on the mound. And I don't want to butcher Houston's pitcher's name. It's
Brandon Belak.
Belak, that's right,
Yeah.
Belak. I don't know if you saw, Javon, we did a top 5 AL rotations, and I think we had Houston either 3rd or 4th. Can't remember exactly. It was like Yankees were 2, we had Rangers, Twins was number 1, and then Mariners was 5. But yeah, I mean, this Astros rotation, it's been pretty solid. Of course, Luis Garcia out for the year, but
yeah,
I mean, I don't think they'll be in too bad of a position, but showing the spread, pretty, I mean, money lines are pretty even. Again, another even matchup, total at 9 here. We like the under model wise here, but do you have anything in this game?
I lean that under too. I'm probably not going to go back to it because I want to take my money and run, but it feels awfully similar. A lot of these pitchers, or not a lot of these pitchers, both these pitchers are going to nibble at the corners. So the command is there, which is obviously a big question, especially with Adrian Hauser. They're going to induce a lot of soft contact. So do lean the under. I don't want to take it.
Yeah, I would probably play an under here. Brewers are just a weird team for me right now. I don't want to say they're a stay away team, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Wait, you were on the under for the Brewers, right?
Yeah.
For the full season win
Yeah,
total?
I'm starting to feel a little better about it.
Yeah. I remember that. That was the one where I was like, damn, that really caught my attention when you came on stream, but it's starting to look pretty good.
Yeah, they're starting to fizzle out a little bit. A lot of the young guys are starting to return to their normal form, and they got some injuries too, which but definitely taking a toll.
Yeah. And real quick, back to the Diamondbacks game. The model likes the Diamondbacks by like almost a half run, and it likes the under.
Okay.
In that one. Do you have anything in this one for props?
Nothing here.
Okay. Cool. Well, this is a game I was joking around in the Just Baseball chat. I was like, I think everyone on Peter's stream is going to have to give a play for this one, and that's the White Sox and the Guardians, and of course Cal Quantrill. That's Peter's dude. But against Michael Kopech, who's coming off a good start. I mean, I can make a case for like the over. I could make a case for an under. I could make a case for both sides on this one. I can make a case for almost everything. Like
Yep.
there's just so much going on in this game, and it really just comes down to who executes as at the mound. And of course, like that's almost every game. But man, the extremes here, like there's a wide range of outcomes for both these guys. I'm showing the total. I think it's down to 8.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I think it was 8.5 earlier. And then I'm showing the money line. It looks like the Guardians are the dogs here. Is that correct?
No, Guardians are like minus 140.
Okay. I see. It's flipped here. That's right. I was going to say, I'm like, wait a second. So we have, okay, that's right. The Guardians are the favorites here. Minus 140 on DraftKings, circa minus 135. Help me break this one down. There's a lot going on with this game. What do you like?
I like the guards. Very rare. Back in Cal Quantrill, which I like I always talk about. Love to fade guys after their great performances. And Michael Kopech, that was probably one of the best starts he's had in his career. Fastball had life. I was on the Royals in that spot too. I felt pain for that entirety of the game. Fastball had probably the most life that I've ever seen in a Michael Kopech start, which is cool against the Royals, but Guardians team, despite how bad they've been offensively, they put the ball in play. So like a guy like Kopech, who not just in that start, but this entire season, super, super heavy on the fastball. The Guardians are going to put that ball in play, and they're going to get lucky a lot of the time because that's kind of just what they do. And guys like Steven Kwan at the top, who are contact machines. Jose Ramirez obviously hitting the ball well. Even to Josh Bell, who I think could sneakily start coming out of his slump a little bit. I like all their matchups against him today. So I do think they scratch a couple across. Cal Quantrill, do his thing, pitch okay. But I got to fade Kopech after that start. I think it was an 8-inning, 1-hit shutout.
Yeah, and I mean, if he replicates that start again, like I'll tip my cap, charge that to the game. But
yeah, exactly.
I don't think he's going to have 2 super quality outings back to back. But, you know, at the same time, I said that about Patrick Corbin, too. And I think he did. So we'll see. I know those are 2 different comparisons because Corbin hasn't in the past. He's shown he's a decent pitcher. Kopech, like the whole thing earlier in the season with him, like tipping pitches. And then, then he got blown up. Like, yeah, if I have to, like, moving forward, have to buy stock in him, I'm probably not. I'm selling him.
Fair.
Like, I just think that he's liable for those blow up spots. Do you have any props in this?
I don't. I guess all my props are pretty late in the slate.
Okay. I'm going to go with Jose Ramirez.
Okay.
Kind of going off what you said with just Kopech, where he's at. I think Jose Ramirez, I mean, the only thing that scares me is he might be pretty reliant on hitting one over the fence. But hey, if that happens, I'll be in pretty good a pretty good spot for this contest head to head. So I'm gonna throw Jose Ramirez in there. All right, let's transition to the next game. We have the Twins and the Giants. Desclafani. We got Joe Ryan out there. Man, Joe Ryan's look great. Total 7.5. The Twins favored minus 140, minus 145, depending on where you look. Even up to like minus 150 in some spots. Do you like anything in this one, Javon?
Nothing really side or total wise, but I'm going to take Joe Ryan as my pitcher. Yeah, that's who I'm going to take.
Nice. I had a feeling.
Might be lagging a little bit. I don't know if you can hear me clearly.
Yeah. 1 second here. Let me see if it might just be my internet. Okay. We'll power through. So yeah, why do you like Joe Ryan today?
Yeah, so I mean, I think against this Giants lineup, especially after what we saw from Sonny Gray yesterday, you can pound them a lot, kind of nibbling on the outside part of the zone, which Joe Ryan will be able to do with his fastball, of course, but also with his off speed. So I think this approach works really, really well for him and for a strikeout guy, as opposed to kind of a pitch to contact guy. Love doing that against the Giants. Not that the Giants are the most proficient contact lineup, but there's definitely a lot of swing and miss there. So I do like his matchup today, and I think lower total too, which a lot of that could be due to some wind coming in, like we have a lot of the ballparks today. But I think he does have a pretty good start here, so I'm going with him.
Nice. Yeah, I think it's a pretty good look. I mean, Twins were our number one AL rotation, and I mean Joe Ryan is a big reason why. I mean,
Yeah.
would you say like you put Twins number one in the AL?
Definitely up there. I still really like the Astros, and I'm probably a little biased in that because I really love them coming in. It's just there's so much talent up and down, and there's a lot of kind of younger guys too, which is so impressive. But Twins rotation has certainly carried them to the success at this point. Starting to fall off a little bit because they can't score, but it's definitely not their pitching's fault.
Yeah, no, I totally agree there. Let's hop on into the next game, making pretty good pace. The Reds and the Cardinals. And last night there were tons of runs scored. No surprise. We have Steven Matz pitching for the Cardinals. He's a lefty, and then Blake Lively for the Reds, a guy I don't know too much about. Total's pretty high. The model likes the under, but I think it just may be because of Blake Lively. Wait, that's his first name, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. It's funny. You type in Blake Lively. Apparently, that's
an actress.
An actress. Yeah. Because I was like, wait a second, am I just mixing up names here? And I was like, no, it's Blake Lively. Gosh, you can't even type in Blake Lively Reds, and you're getting like pictures of red dresses here. What's going on?
Oh, you know what it is? Ben.
Oh, it is Ben. That's what I thought. Okay. I was like, wait a second. I was like, does this guy not even exist here? There we go. Ben Lively.
Be tripped you up.
Yeah.
Tripped you up.
I mean, that's a great first name. I should have known that.
Of course.
So let's see here. His last start, 5, 2 hits, 2 earned against the Yankees. What do you?
Great.
Yeah. What do you make of Ben here?
Yeah, I will say I did have in that game that he pitched, I had the Yankees team total, which snuck over in the 9th. No thanks to him, of course, because he wasn't in the game, but he looked really good. Commanded the zone really well. Fastball showed some life too. So I was impressed by him. I don't know how it's going to fare against this Cardinals lineup, to be honest with you, especially. Yes, his first start, or not first start, but last start was in Great American Ballpark against the Yankees. But again, in Great American Ballpark against the Cardinals, I don't know if he's going to have the same amount of success. I think he can be all right, though. I kind of lean that under, too. I think you said your model like the under as well. I think this could be one that sneaks under. Both pitchers are going to get hit up a little bit, I think, but obviously you have an 11, I think, total. I can see this one ending 9 or 10. So, I mean, I don't really want to get involved with too much in this game, but that would be something I had to take.
Yeah, I'm tempted to play the Reds here. But hold on, the model does like the Cardinals. I just like the fade Mats, man.
Can't blame
I've
you.
done it. Yeah, I've done it a few times this season. It's worked pretty well. I think a guy that I'm gonna throw in today for the Reds into my my 4-legger here head to head. I think I'm gonna go Jonathan India.
He's on my short list.
Yeah, just because. I mean, the only thing I'm skeptical on is, Matz as a lefty. Like, if he gets on base, maybe not as good for a steal opportunity, but I mean, he's just going to pitch the contact, and I think India at home. Yeah, I'll throw him in there. I'm going to throw him in there. So I think that's my 4th. I just need to update I'm going to update the ticker right now. Yeah. See, now you know my whole team. So now maybe you can even strategize a little bit. But yeah, Oh yeah, I gotta update your picture too. So you had got Joe Ryan. Put Joe Ryan in there. I gotta throw in Jose Ramirez. Cool. Yeah, and I'm gonna throw in Jonathan India there for my flex spot. All right. Let's get into the next game, man. Last night, the Rays and Jays, man. As soon as I saw like 18, 20 runs, I was like, there has to be some position players pitching, and sure enough,
the last 10 were off of Luke Raley and Christian Jackson.
Yeah. That was pretty crazy to see that. I mean, especially the Rays, the way they've been playing. But man, have the Rays come back down to earth just a tad, or
I mean, a little bit. A lot of like last night too. Like, I mean, obviously they got crushed, so I'm not going to say it was all because of this, but they've had a lot of guys in and out of the lineup in the last handful of weeks. Like Yandy he had his little short injury stint, and then he was out last night. Brandon Lau, even when he sucks, they need a lefty with power in that lineup, and he didn't play yesterday either. So I mean, especially without Yandy at the top, that lineup's not the same. It's like a Astros lineup without Altuve, maybe times 10, which I know I'm a little biased here, but I don't understand why Yandy isn't getting more MVP hype personally. I know we got the flashy Shohei and Judge, but Yandy's had an incredible season. So that lineup sucks without him, frankly. But I mean, today, coming off of 20 runs yesterday, I'm a little scared because of the lines that I've seen. I don't know if it's just taking yesterday's game into account, but I was expecting a lot higher lines for Shane McClanahan's props, but I still got to stick with backing him in some way today. Maybe if it's a little Jays team total under. But the Rays are the play here in some form or fashion, I think.
Mm-hmm. You have anything in this one?
No, nothing here.
Okay. I actually realized that I have too many infielders. I don't have an outfielder. So I'm going to have to adjust that. I think I'm going to take out do I want to take out here? I'm going to take out Jose Ramirez, and then I'm going to put in a Rosarina.
Love it.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. I just realized that. I don't know why I was like Jose Ramirez was an outfielder. That was stupid of me. Of course, he's been playing. What position has he been playing most of the season?
Randy?
No, Jose.
I think he'd be playing third, right?
Third, okay.
Yeah.
Don't they put him at second every once in a while, or is he almost always third?
I think they keep Andres Jimenez over there.
Okay, that makes sense.
Maybe Ahmed occasionally too.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I was looking at McClanahan for my pitcher, but I don't know. I was curious if you're going to use him too, but I was like, he'll probably use Joe Ryan.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the next game here. Orioles and Yankees. Showing the total here at, let's see here. Well, it looks like the Yankees are minus 136. It's kind of been moving up, and then looks like the total is 8.5, depending on where you get it at. That game last night was pretty wild.
Yeah.
Aaron Judge, man.
Yeah, keeps doing it, man.
So good.
Doing it.
He's tough, man.
I had an Orioles ticket last night. I was riding with Bradish today.
Oh, man.
That one hurt. That one hurt, and I'm doing it again. 100%. Got to go back to it. Not even like yesterday they were facing Garrett Cole. Liked the matchup then. Now they're facing a lefty, and they're better split against Nestor, who has looked human this season. Not nearly the same production that we saw last year. And especially against this Orioles team that has just been mashing lefties no matter what, and they can hit the cutter in. A lot of those righties, like a Anthony Santander, who is going to be one of my outfielders here that I'm taking. I like the matchup for a lot of those righties, including him, Adley, Ryan Mountcastle too, who has struggled a little bit against Nestor in his career, but I'm hoping that turns around a little bit today. But I think their offense does show out a little bit today. And, on the other side too, Tyler Wells has been great this season. Looked a little human last time out, hoping that regresses a little bit outside of Judge, because Judge is going to hit a nuke no matter what. Just be good against everybody else. That's what I hope.
So you said Santander?
Yeah, Santander.
For maybe those who don't have like prize picks, is there a prop, like a specific prop that you would maybe look to on the books? Is it home run? Is it bases? Like if you had to just go with like an alternate for someone.
For him, maybe a 1.5 hits, runs, and RBI. If you can get that prop specifically, I don't have a problem with total bases, but I think best shot there with the RBI chances that I think he should have. I think it's in like a little -120 for the over 1.5. That would be what I would go with on the books.
Perfect. I'm updating this right now. Yeah, man, I think I can get behind the Orioles today. See what the model has here. Model likes the Orioles.
There we go.
Yeah, and I think Nick hit this on the head earlier in the season with Nestor. I think Nestor was a little bit overvalued to start the season.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, just I know he had a few outings last year. I mean, he almost had was it a perfect game or no hitter? Came down to the wire.
Yeah, I think it was a perfect game bid.
Yeah, and I mean he's still a good pitcher, but I think people were making him out to be closer to be like a Cy Young guy than an average guy, and I was just like, yeah, at some point needed to pump the brakes just a little bit on that.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, I'm going to update this. So we currently have Joe Ryan for you, Santander for an outfielder, and I have Gallon, Seager, Rosarena, and Jonathan India. So that is updated. All right. Next game, Padres and Nationals. This is an ugly one. Is Krabs going to be at this one?
No, well, because I think, or I guess it doesn't start that early today. But I think he got his one out. He saw Soto hit over. He got his CJ Abrams Dinger Tuesday that we all rode, which was
dude. Abrams he's been seeing the ball pretty well.
Yeah, he's been great.
Yeah,
he's been great. I was surprised to see it, but I love to see it.
Yeah,
team's kind of fun, to be honest with you. I like the Nats.
They are. They're a team. I mean, they're playing hard. I mean, that's all you can ask for. Soto, man. I mean, sometimes is it that easy? We should have just said it. Yeah, he's gonna hit a home run against his old team. Like, what are we doing?
People do.
Yep. Yeah. Nothing in this one, I assume.
I will say, I don't know if I'm gonna play it yet, but looking at some of these odds, I don't know if it's just FanDuel and DK specifically or something. And it just might be a system play against the lefty. You're kind of not wrong there. But the home run odds are probably the craziest I've ever seen. And we saw a lot yesterday, but even if you look in course, you don't see the amount of guys that are, probably dead. That's the revenge parlay. But even if you look at like course or Great American Ballpark, there's not this amount of guys that I see listed for, plus 400, plus 500 or less. Which, when I was like scrolling through some of these player prop odds, especially in the home runs, that shocked me that we see this many home runs listed. And yes, the total's high, but again, in comparison to some of the others, it didn't really make much sense. So I think if you get runs, wouldn't mind an over here. Tentative to play it, but I do think there is some offense and some good matchups here. So flex, I'm going to put Juan Soto there. Another successful revenge game. He's up for 1.5 bases on prize picks too, which rarely you see, and that could be a good or bad thing. Who knows? But I like his matchup against Trevor Williams today. I like some offense in that game too, so I think he has a pretty good day.
Yeah, the model has it going under slightly, but it's close. I definitely can see a lot of runs in this spot.
Yeah.
How much were the bullpens used last night?
I don't
think they were used because Darvish went.
I don't think Gore went very deep, but it
was kind of I wouldn't say totally out of hand, but maybe they didn't put their best guys in.
Yeah, I mean, they threw Machado, Ramirez, Thompson, and Chad Kuhl for the last 2 innings. So.
Oh, that's right. Chad Kuhl got his bullpen appearance.
Yeah, so I mean, you got 4-ish innings from the Nats bullpen, but it was none of the top guys anyway. So,
who's the that kind of tall, lanky guy with a little bit of a sidearm release for the Nationals?
you talking Kyle Finnegan or
Yeah, I think it's Finnegan.
Connor
Yeah,
Harvey?
I think I'm thinking Finnegan.
Yeah, Finnegan. He's been better recently, but
Yeah.
it's not terrible, or it
Yeah.
was terrible to start the year.
Yeah, he definitely turned it around a little bit. I think he's decent, but
Yeah.
we'll see. Joe Ryan is a taco today. Really?
Oh boy, I saw they had a couple up there.
Do you see the Meek Mill thing?
I didn't.
Yeah, Prize Picks signed like Meek Mill as like their official. I think it kind of made me laugh how the title, but it was like brand ambassador / like culture something. Yeah. So.
Why?
Yeah. What if there was like a Meek Mill Drake like sports betting beef?
That would be fire. I wouldn't know who to fade.
Yeah. I think Trent commented on the Prize Picks post and said something like, "Does Meek Mill know about the Super Goats or something?" It's fucking funny.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. All right, let's keep moving here. A few more games. Yeah, we should actually really pick up the tempo pace. If you don't have anything, just let me know and you can give me a quick 5-second breakdown of who you like. Dodgers and Braves. Elder, Gonzalez. Do you have anything in this one?
I lean Elder getting lit up, but probably have the last couple of starts, and he's been good. He continues to beat us and beat Sharp, so I'm good on that game. Don't have any props there either.
Cool. Yeah, I don't have much on this one. Braves coming off a loss, right?
Yeah, coming off of 2 as sizable favorites. So, I mean, good situational spot, I guess, to back them. I can't deal with Elder.
Yeah. If they lose this game, I don't want to be like the Squares, like, oh, they're not going to lose another one. But,
yeah,
I mean, who would they have tomorrow? Would it be Strider?
No, he just pitched yesterday and got
robbed. Oh, that was Strider. Duh.
Yeah.
It was it would probably be no, he pitched the day before.
Yeah, I don't know. They just had Strider and Morton back to back, so I don't really know who they're going for against the Phillies.
Yeah, for some reason I thought it was Strider Morton, but you're right, it was Morton.
Schuster. Could be Schuster.
Yeah. All right, next game. Cubs and Mets. Pretty even line here. Senga was supposed to pitch yesterday. They moved him up to today. Senga's looked nasty. I mean, we all know he has nasty stuff. I think with him, it's just his walks, right? Like, can he get those under control? Like, for example, his hit prop's 4.5, right? But it's just because he's going to walk like a third of the batters. So it's like guys can't get hits. But do you have anything in this one?
Yeah, talk about his walks. Guess who the most patient team in the MLB is? The Cubs. They see the most pitches per plate appearance. So if he doesn't have his command, that's going to be a disaster. I know we see a pretty low total here. Wins a part of that. It was initially 6.5, one of the very few we've seen this season. So gives me hope that he does pitch kind of well. I can't back him because that's a nightmare matchup for him.
So are you think? Yeah, Morel, dude. Jeez,
unreal,
bro. I have a few Bowman first cards. So like those are just like the best rookie cards basically for baseball players, and I think I have 3 or 4, nothing like super high end, like rare, but I'm like, sweet.
Yeah
I was like pulling them out, and I'm like, yeah, I think when I started to see his name pop up like time and time again, I'm like, I'm pretty sure I have some Bowman cards of him. So yeah, he's looked great, man.
Yeah, he's unreal.
Let's see here. Okay, so you said nothing in this one for you?
Yeah, nothing in that one. My last person, I guess, this is the Royals game.
Okay, perfect. That's what we're on. Boyd and Greinke, man. Fucking Greinke. Greinke, such an interesting pitcher, man. I would love to interview that guy. He seems like he's in his own world sometimes.
Yes.
It's Matthew Boyd, correct?
Yes.
Lefty. I kind of have a feeling we're going to go with this one, but I'm showing a total 8.5. Money line, pretty even on both sides here. What do you like in this one?
Yeah, I'm going to go Salvi as my infielder, even though he's a catcher. He's the one. He has almost 50 at bats against Matthew Boyd, so he's seen him decently. No numbers that kind of jump off the page to you, but he's been really the spark plug for this Royals offense whenever they do score runs, and I do think they score a little bit off of Matthew Boyd today, which, we've gone through this with the Royals 1,000 times, so they're either going to be really good or really bad. I think they score a couple today, and I think it's going to be on the back of him. They've tinkered with their lineup a little bit in the last couple of starts, and it's kind of worked. They haven't been as bad. They put Prado, which I don't know if they're going to do this again against a lefty, but they put Prado at the top of the lineup. He's been seeing the ball really well. Love him. Then kind of moving Bobby Wood around because he hasn't been good. So I think that's kind of given a jolt to the lineup a little bit, and Salvi's been the guy for that lineup really all season. So I like his matchup today. I think he goes yard.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about throwing in a Royals player. That was on my short list too. I like the look. So let's see. I have Joe Ryan, Santander, Salvador Perez. Did I miss one?
Soto.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So let me put Soto in here. I like that. This is going to be a interesting little head-to-head here.
Yeah.
So let me update that. So year 4, Joe Ryan, Santander, Salvador. Soto Perez. I copy pasted it. There you go, Salvador Perez. Isn't it funny how people were freaking out about Soto just a few weeks ago?
Yep. Now he's turned that corner a little bit. Scary sight.
Yep. Let's hop on into the last 3 just real quick. Miami, Colorado, there is a chance that this gets rained out. I'm curious though, because Alcantara, he's had 2 starts in Coors, and I think one he got completely blown up in. It was back in 2021. He gave up 10 earned.
Yeah.
If they do play, do you like anything in this one?
Not really. I would be lying if I said I could go with Sandy here. I don't know. I kind of enjoyed watching Carl Kaufman against the Rangers a little bit. I think he had a really good first couple innings and then got blown up a little bit towards the end of his outing, which is a really tough matchup on the road against the Rangers in his first start, which, going back into core is probably not the best, but you get a Marlins offense that's pretty reliant on home runs. He got nickel and dime by the Rangers quite a bit, so not a terrible matchup for him. I don't know your thoughts on Mr. Kaufman there, but I don't mind the Rockies today.
The thing with Kaufman, it's tough because he's basically in there just to, I guess, eat innings is one way to put it, just because Feltner got injured and Sensatella is out. And I mean, it's just one of those things where it's just maybe he's trying to prove something to, I don't know about getting a spot in the rotation, but maybe just stay on the team. But I don't know. There's nothing that jumps off the page to say this is a guy who can have a good outing, but
yeah.
We'll see.
He can be all right. Maybe good enough.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Again, a lot of rain expected in that one, so we'll see what happens. Last 2 games, Red Sox, Angels. Tyler Anderson, Paxton, 2 lefties going at it in this one. Pretty high total. I guess it's come down. It's at 9. It was at 9.5.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's interesting. Anything that you like in this one?
Yeah, not really. I did debate a little Drury day a little bit today against Paxton, but the Red Sox, especially the series, have been really weird to read. Red Sox are coming off of a pretty embarrassing offensive performance, so I like to back teams coming off of that. So I wouldn't mind taking a stab at them, but I'm really just good on this series.
Yeah. What about your guy Drury?
Yeah, I don't mind him. Don't mind him in this matchup at all. I think I don't want to say he's starting to get it going again, but he's looked better at the plate as of recent. He was super hot for a stretch, then he looked pitiful again. Now he's kind of back to being, average, having some decent at bats. So maybe in a really good matchup, he turns it around today. I'd hope to see it.
And I'm just making the poll right now. So what we're gonna do, it's gonna be a channel point prediction, Javon, between us 2. So We'll make sure to give out the points probably tomorrow on stream, depending on. It could be tonight, but maybe tomorrow. I mean, it's not like people are going to be like checking their channel points at like midnight tonight. If you are, like, just wait till tomorrow. Give me 1 second. I want to see where the early action is, and I know you have to hop off here in a sec. What's your play of the day today?
That's a great question.
I know it's still early. I know, lineups are coming out, and
yeah, I'll be honest. I don't really love the slate today. If I had to highlight maybe a couple of the favorites, maybe that over in the Nats game. I do really like the Orioles. Cal Quantrill Day certainly on the short list as well. It starts up soon, but lines kind of moving back, making me a little scared. So something between those couple.
Yeah, man, I'm really thinking about Gallon, man, in his Ks, but I don't know, 6.5. I mean, that prize pick square of 6, if it's still there, that seems pretty good. I know it's a little bit of like a push potential, but
yeah.
Let's see here. I wanted to ask you one other thing. Oh yeah, I wanted to ask you before you hop off about like Rookie of the Year, Cy Young. Do you have any like favorites right now? Like, has it changed from like your preseason predictions? Whether it's a Cy Young on either side, AL or NL, or Rookie of the Year. I'm just curious where your head's at right now.
Yeah, I mean, for AL, NL, Cy Young, I took a couple larger stabs. I didn't go too many favorites except for a sprinkle on Corbin Burns, which could not be further from correct. So I got a lot of guys here. I mean, I'm very biased, obviously, as far as AL Cy Young goes, but Shane McClanahan, in my mind, I haven't looked at the odds or anything yet, but he should be the favorite right now, even as well as Garrett Cole has been pitching. So if he continues to be dominant, he's probably my favorite there. Rookie of the Year is tough on both sides because I feel like you're getting a lot of value on guys in the NL because there's a lot of talented guys there. Corbin Carroll, overwhelmingly the public favorite, I guess, coming in. He probably still is odds-wise, but a lot of guys like Outman, who's made a big jump, Yuri Perez, if he continues to pitch the way he did or has, even like the secondary Dodgers option, Miguel Vargas. I think take a stab at that as your kind of best bet for value. AL Rookie of the Year, too. There's a lot of guys that I think are higher prices than they should be, but Yoshida should still be kind of the overwhelming favorite there. So there's a lot of moving pieces here, I guess. I don't know. It's a very strange race. Cy Young's I really don't care for because a lot of the bigger names that I think I've seen the lines for some of those, they're getting a little more respect than probably they should. But there's not many kind of elite tier pitchers that are in the running. So it's strange. I don't really know what to do with a lot of these futures other than, team-wise, which I was on a beginning of the season, kind of thought that the Dodgers and Astros would be kind of meh to open the season and kind of make that push. They're starting to make that push right now. So if you're not in on either of those teams, whether it's with a future or anything like that, I would do it now. I think the Astros, this was like my hot take that we did a couple weeks ago before they started to make this turn. I think the Astros still win the AL West by 10 games.
I mean, I could see it. I never count out the Astros, man.
Yeah.
You can't. I mean, you can hate them, but you can't count them out. No, I like that take. What about this, Josh John?
He's a guy who I don't know why, because we were talking about that the other day. I mean, some other people, and I wasn't really understanding why he was so juicy. He's like plus almost 2,000 everywhere, where I thought he was kind of on par with guys like Yoshida and Hunter Brown. They're kind of like my big three there. So maybe take a stab there.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Yoshida, though, is probably
far and away. Should be
far, yeah, unless something happens with like an injury, God forbid. But yeah. It's definitely his to lose. And I appreciate Heisenberg with the 1 year sub bank. Love to see it, man. Thank you. All right, man. I know you have a BTL to get into. I'm going to stay on just a little longer to finish out this prediction poll for the channel points, and then we'll probably just raid you guys. So appreciate you hopping on, man. I'm going to make a post on Twitter with our head-to-head. It's going to be fun to kind of watch this throughout the day. I'm feeling confident. Chat, public money on Javon, though.
Yeah.
80%, man.
You hate to see that. You just hate to see it.
Yeah. But look, I mean, I would say that our chat is they're smart. So
yeah.
maybe it's actually the sharp money. What were the PODs? Did you really have one?
I don't know if I have one yet.
I don't know if I don't want to force it. I mean, I'm sure you'll have one in like an hour. So maybe we'll just have
probably talk through it a little more.
Yeah.
Kind of figure out what I like the best. But there's a lot of spots I like, not too much I love. I think it's a weird board today. So we'll get into that on BTL soon.
What, anything in the Pirates game too?
Yeah, I mean I like the Pirates. I snuck a little half you on them.
Yeah. Cool. All right, you're good to hop off, man. We'll probably raid you here in about 5-10 minutes. I'm gonna stay on a little longer to finish off this prediction poll. Appreciate it once again, man, and yeah, we'll talk to you later.
Yeah, appreciate you having me. See you guys.
See ya. Alrighty. Let's talk about where this prediction is at right now. So looks like 71% of you on Javon. So here's what's gonna happen, guys. Gallon is going to pitch a fucking gem. Okay? I'm going to get a good start. And I mean, the thing is Joe Ryan is probably going to have a good outing too. Like if you're expecting Joe Ryan to have a blow up spot, yeah, probably not. I'm going to need Seager to come through. Definitely needs to continue his hot streak. Rosarena is probably going to need a nuke too. And Jonathan India, that's kind of the wild card because if Jonathan India can get a steal, right, I'm going to be in a pretty good spot. So we'll see. But I mean, his 4 tough. I mean, Joe Ryan again, he's going to probably pitch a pretty good game. Santander is interesting. Perez and Soto. Soto's going to put up some points. He definitely has a few pretty boomer bust guys, but at the same time, I mean, Rosarena is pretty boomer bust too. Like, he could just get a few walks. Simeon Nuke. Expected number to win? That's a really good question. So if we look at, let's go to Prize Picks. Actually, I could just probably pull it up here. Prize Picks. Also, fucking Austin Reeves, man. That hurt. Came up a 0.5 rebound short. The 6-legger hitting. But you know what? Gambling. It just sucks because he had, like, throughout the series, there were so many opportunities where he was super close to just getting rebounds. And I'm like, these are going to come back to haunt me. Let me share my screen real quick. Sent. Share screen. Okay, so Joe Ryan is at 39.5 for his Prize Pick score. Gallon's at 34.5. So right off the bat, I mean, value would be on Joe Ryan. Where is hitter? Did they not have? Oh, there it is. Hitter fantasy score. So Perez is at 6.5. Let's see what India's at. India's at 7. Soto's at 8. Rosarena's at 8.5. Santander is 6.5. Seager. Wait. He's not up yet. So I mean, it's pretty even. Why is Shane so low? It's a good question. Oh, but he's the little taco guy. Well, it's not a taco; it's a hot dog, right? Wait, is this a hot dog or a taco? It's a hot dog. It's a hot dog. Someone said taco earlier, but it's a hot dog, right? Yeah, that is interesting. If you go back to pitcher fantasy scores, he is lower than Gallon. McClanahan is. Man, Senga under. That might be a good look, man, because Javon made really good points about the Cubs and them not chasing pitches. That could be a pretty good look. Okay. Is a hot dog a sandwich? I asked Nick this. He said no. I think he's correct. I don't think it's a sandwich. Okay. Is the poll finished? I believe it is. It looks like 71% of you guys are on Javon. On my own show, guys. You're fading me on my own show. Okay. Thank you, Scrunch. I can see who voted for who. So let me see the real ones here. Shout out Mike, real one. Heisenberg, real one. Fernandez, G Fernandez, J Free, Pick Six, Clam Mucker, Justice, MF Cooler, Kicks for Boogie. Those are my ride or dies right now. Picks with Geo. Come on. Gonna vote for Javon. J Wells, man. Seriously, J Wells? J Wells put 38,000 on Javon. That's insane. Okay. Alrighty, I think that that poll has wrapped up. Let's do a little bit of a raid. Let's raid. What is it? Book it. It's just Book It Sports, right? Book It Sports. Boom. All right. Appreciate it, guys. We'll have a recap of the little head-to-head. Wait, Rangers are up 3-0. That game just start? Did Seager just hit a nuke? But no, we'll was it Seager? Maybe. All right. Appreciate it, guys. I'm gonna have a recap post here in a second on Twitter. We're gonna raid Book It, see more of Javon, and hopefully he'll have a POD for us too. So appreciate it once again, guys. See you later.